This is an Atari game that anyone who owns any Atari system must own. You can buy any game that you want to play, but Breakout is a must no matter what. I don't care if it's a game you never play or care much about, but this is one to have anyways. And chances are, if you do own an Atari, you probably ended up with this cartridge just by sheer osmosis. It's kind of like Combat or Pac-Man on the 2600. You just end up with it eventually whether you wanted it or not. It's inevitable that every Atari owner will swap spit with Breakout eventually, and given the name Breakout, I guess it's pretty fitting. Breakout is a game that literally everyone has heard of or played, even if you don't know it by name. Arkanoid, Alleyway, Brick Breaker, whatever the names might be, they all tie back to this classic original game from 1978, which was a port of the 1976 original that released in the arcades. The 2600 was quite literally made for games like this. A simple bat, a simple ball, and a simple objective. And despite its primitive nature, it's a game that is as fun to play today as it was in the late 70s when it was new. And especially if you get to play it with the original Atari paddle controllers. The footage you're seeing here is me playing on an emulator, using my mouse as a controller. Not many companies make paddle controllers anymore, which is a shame because they're really awesome controllers. And that's something that this release of Breakout has over the clones and sequels that released long after this version. A lot of them rely on digital controls without fine movements, and it only gives you about 80% of the experience in my view. The paddle controllers are analog, fluid, dynamic. They give you a precision that modern controllers don't quite replicate. I guess you could use like a racing wheel with this to get that motion. That actually would be a pretty cool concept. Maybe I should try it now that I'm thinking about it. Whether I'm playing on an emulator or on my actual 2600, Breakout is such a fun game to play. It really is just one of those games I could get lost in for hours, racking up my high score and trying to get that last goddamn brick that the ball will just not go near. I'm serious when I say I've never cleared a board on Breakout, probably ever. Not that I can remember at least. The last couple of bricks are always just out of reach and I can never break them. So my scores are always just doomed to be short of the goal. My personal experience with Breakout goes pretty far back, but not on my original Atari for the most part. I remember first playing this version of this game on my laptop in like 2013 on a Flash emulator website. I got my Atari 2600 in early 2014, and the game I had for a long time before this was Super Breakout, not the original. And I will cover Super Breakout on this channel very soon as well. I don't remember when I got my copy of Breakout, but I'm glad I have it because playing it on a CRT with the original paddle controllers is just truly a treat. And of course this game comes with a lot of fun modes like invisible bricks, steerable balls, catching balls after they land, and one where the ball just goes straight through the bricks instead of bouncing off them. That's part of the charm with old Atari games. You have so many choices on how to play one game that you could get a ton of mileage out of them. And considering this 24-year-old is still racking up points on this old dinosaur, it really speaks to just how well designed Breakout is. A template for video games that will just never die off.